to the official Nintendo podcast.
Usually on sale now. $3.99.
Unbelievable.
Bosh.
Hello and welcome to the official Nintendo Magazine podcast, number 40. I am Associate Editor Matthew Castle, and you may be wondering where Chandra is. He's actually here, but he's feeling a little under the weather, so he is past hosting duties.
I got the black lung, Pa.
He's got the black lung. That's hilarious for all of our readers with the black lung. Apologies for that.
I think there's many.
There might be.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so sorry if I cough occasionally.
I think it's some sort of mining.
It's when you inhale coal dust.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Generally.
But you haven't got that, right?
No, but I've got a good blue steel going on today.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed
Might
that.
even show you my magnum. Whee!
Whoa.
We're at a
Yikes.
racy beginning.
This is a racy start. So I'm going to be doing some of the sort of hosting duties today, if that's all right with you guys. And joining us with, we have Sick Chandra, of course. And we also have Joe Screbbles.
Hello.
And we have Tom East.
Hello.
Or Thomas East.
I don't mind.
Tom Arse, I've heard.
Right. And
I do mind.
Oh, Thomas.
and famous O&M traitor and Nintendo Gamer web editor Chris Scullion. What's that?
This is my crowd.
Oh, right.
It's the
They're
crowd.
very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably because there's not many.
It's
in
because
them.
they're restraining order.
It sounded like you breathing into a microphone.
No, Tom, come on.
Very sad.
Come on.
In
that's-
wrestling
that's-
terminology, you are a heel.
No,
I
I'm a
believe.
face. I'm a face. I'm a
Heels are the
baby face.
bad ones, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm a baby face.
Chris has been reviewing WWE in the office, so got wrestling in mind.
Not being funny, Matthew, but we've got Wii U games to be playing, so could we get on
Yeah,
with
we can, absolutely. Let's move on to what we've been playing.
I like to think I'm quite good at platformers. That is a lengthy task.
I'll tell you what, I'm really there. I'm really there.
It's really good. It's really
awesome.
Yeah, just
Utter rubbish and blobs.
also really cool. Really? Yeah. There's a really good. They're not my cup of tea, those sort of games. Really?
They're not mine usually either, but every spare minute of my time,
So what have we been playing? Well, this month I have been playing Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask.
You played that an awful lot, actually, didn't you?
I've played a hell of a lot of Miracle Mask. I've played it through to completion, and I've completed every single puzzle.
You're quite opinionated on the subject as well.
Yep. As always, has anyone else played Professor Layton this month?
No.
Yeah, I've put about 5-6 hours into it so far. I'm only just started playing through it. Yeah, I like it.
There you go. That's,
I was hoping you- I was hoping
that's
you
that
could provide us some more
insightful commentary
And
we've
let's
lost
move
to
on to
Nintendo
reader
Gamer.
I know it's
.net.
nice, but it's good, but it's different, isn't it? In a way, it's the first Layton game that feels fresh.
Yeah,
to an extent.
they've basically, because it's obviously the first 3DS game, so they've kind of relaunched it, redesigned it, kind of taken a slightly fresher, well, I say slightly fresh, a tiny bit fresh approach to it in that it's 3D, not 2D. But I think they needed to, because I know in the office anyway, we're not all agreed on Professor Layton 4, aka Spectre's cool. I really didn't like it myself.
I think it's the weakest of the 4, 5 now so far.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the story.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weak story, and also I just think after 4 games, the same formula over and over again was going to kind of wear thin. And even though the formula is largely the same, they've kind of jazzed it up with you've got these nice sort of 3D looks, so now you're exploring a 3D world instead of just the 2D one. You know, you're sort of poking and probing through it, and just sort of presentation-wise, I think it's much nicer than before.
When you say 3D, and speaking of poking and probing, you're basically saying his head looks like a wiener.
He does.
true.
He does look really strange in 3D because everyone else has got a kind of like, you know, the Professor Layton character designs are all quite character rich and all sort of knobbly, and they all look like kind of misshapen potatoes with sort of, you know, mouths. But Professor Layton is just this sort of unblinking tube. You know, it's really, really strange.
You should see him next to Phoenix Wright in.
Yeah,
he
it's
looks
weird.
really
They look very
odd
strange.
in Professor Layton vs Phoenix Wright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know, does he ever just like tilt his head down and point his hat out of the screen at you?
What
That's
amazing
all
What
3D
do his
effects.
pointy fingers
a
look like in
battering ram.
3D?
They look pretty. They look decent actually. He does that when he does the puzzle. It's animated
I have
now.
the answer.
It doesn't do that weird thing where he kind of fades in and out anymore. He just kind of goes. "Rrr."
He sort of lurches at you.
Yeah,
It's quite good. Well,
It's very terrifying.
another one of the big kind of innovations, which is really cool. I say innovations; it's more of a story plot. Is that the game cuts between present day and like Leighton's teenage years, so you sort of go back and see him when he was a kind of kid and a teenager, and see how it kind of ties into the current story. No spoilers. This is a spoiler-free
Get to
zone.
see his hair in 3D.
But that's the thing, he
Oh,
doesn't wear a hat.
spoiler.
Well, no,
Tom.
that's not a spoiler. He doesn't wear a hat. That's what I was going to, because Joe asked about the hat. Because
But he
this is
did-
before his hat.
We
He
did wear a
doesn't
hat
wear a
in-
hat. If you've played the third game, is it?
Yeah,
Lost
of
Future,
course,
you
yeah.
would have seen his hair in that.
Oh, spoiler for the third game.
But this one goes back further. Where Lost Future had a little kind of like a little 5-minute kind of when Professor Layton was sort of dating him
Emotional.
first. This is actually several hours spent with him, and it's quite. If you're like a fan of Back to the Future, it's kind of got that thing going on where you know, it's like what were your parents like
Emmett
before
Brown in it?
you knew?
Is Emmett Brown in it?
No. So it's not just like Back to the
Is
Future.
Chris Brown in it?
Chris Brown is in it. He's the one who did it.
It's your kids!
I don't think we should start talking about Chris Brown.
No, it's so it's just kind of interesting because you get to find out, you know, he doesn't really like puzzles and he's a bit of a different kind of character. And if you're a big like Leighton nerd, which I am, like stuff like that's just great in you because it's like total fan service. But yeah, it's really solid. The reviews in the issue on sale.
24th of October, which is
No, so go out and-
I should also mention that bit you were talking about, Tom, in the third game, like the emotional flashback. I think we're both agreed that part could have made the fourth game rubbish.
Yes.
Because they obviously, Level 5 realised when everyone went on about the third game about how it was such an emotional game, the third one was the best because everyone was sad at the end of everything. I think we're both in agreement that for the fourth game they just basically tried their hardest to make people sad as many times as possible.
And it's
it
very
felt
difficult
forced.
to be sad at the end of that.
Oh, the end of it is
It's
I'm going to read this
time.
from Starman64. Oh. Which basically reflects what we've been saying. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the story isn't filled with disappointing events that try to make you cry, but instead make you point out the flaws in the plan, like Spectre's Call. I want something epic, something vast, and an excellent adventure overall.
what you want is Final Fantasy, and you want Ares to die and to make you cry. It's not what you're going to get from a
Spoilers.
Professor Layton game, is it?
Have you played The Lost Future?
No, but I doubt it's going to affect me in the same
Yeah.
way.
I don't know.
I don't
It's,
know.
it's,
Give
it's
it a
quite
go.
it's quite snifflesome at the end.
Only
Yeah.
two snifflesome things in the last 10 years of gaming are that bit and the bit at the end of that Elite Beat Agents level when the girl's dad dies.
I know.
Oh, I think there's some stuff in Phoenix Wright that makes
Really?
yeah. Because it's all death and melodramatic and.
Yeah.
That's what, anyway.
Chandra's looking as if
You
we're
guys.
mad.
Yeah, I know.
But I think
Sad
Starman 64
We're just emotional.
is gonna really like Miracle Mask because one thing I didn't note in the review, probably should have because I'm an amateur.
Let's sell this magazine.
No, but he recently they made the film Eternal Diva, which was like really big and bombastic, and I think that now has kind of
They
really
call me Mr. Bombastic.
right.
I thought that was about Eternal Diva was about Louise Redknapp when she was
We
in
saw that.
Eternal. But apparently not.
That is a dated reference.
Wow,
Kids will love that one.
That was a hot Eternal
You have
gag.
have all the kids to turn off the podcast and start singing, I want to be the only one.
That's my worst song of all time.
Professor
Really?
Layton.
What?
That's
that song.
the only one.
Yeah.
Who did they sing that with?
I don't know, but it's got about 4 key changes. It's ridiculous.
No, but
Anyway,
I thought
carry on.
Just a Step from Heaven had more.
Has
I
it?
refuse to believe it has 4 key changes.
Yeah, it does. Near the end, it was like, I want to be the only one.
And it just carries on going up and up. By the end, it goes, yeah. Carry on.
It's a karaoke loaded weapon. I'll tell you that much.
Can I just say, if the next Layton game is called Professor Layton and the Atomic Kitten, then you are onto something.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's going to have 3 key changes. I just know it.
But yes.
Matthew, you were saying at some
Sorry,
point.
before no, what I was saying, they made the film and they made it, you know, because obviously it had to be a big blockbuster kind of level action, and that has now really impacted them. So like all the Laytons since the film have been really over the top. This one included, and from a little teaser you get at the end, I think Part 6 is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
You heard it here first.
That
to be
man,
fair, when you
the man
start-
from the film is my favourite character in Professor Layton. The
Descalet.
police. The policeman with the
Oh, right.
who
Oh,
squeezes out his quiff.
Oh,
and he falls
clamp.
in water. He keeps falling in the sea and has to wring out his quiff.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
To be fair, when you found out what the ending was in the first game, which I won't reveal, then
Yeah, I think
that was a
you can
kind
reveal.
of
Go on,
that
just
was a
reveal it.
precedent.
It's 4 years old.
Nah, we have.
We dropped
complaints
loads
about
of spoiler bombs in the last issue.
I mean, that kind of set a precedent for ridiculous endings from the word go.
There's
That was a bit-
there's a difference between a ridiculous twist though and a, latent it's hard to say without
haven't
spoiling
always read
anything.
now.
But
Well, just stop listening for 2 minutes.
no, just like in one of the past Layton games, you've seen like a giant robot mech come out of
Yes.
things, and you're like, this is ludicrous. 1 second you're solving quizzes about which cheese each mouse eats, and the next you're fighting like a giant robot, and you're like, these two things don't really add up. There's a lot of that kind
I
of
think
stuff.
the end of the first one was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you sort of went, oh, okay.
It's fun.
You sort of went with it. Whereas I don't think you could go with the ending of Spectre's Call.
Yeah,
You just go, nah.
that was guff cakes.
I have to say I'm not a Leighton fan.
No, neither am I.
Oh.
It's funny how things in your life really influence what you like and don't like. That my girlfriend, now wife,
aye.
was playing Leighton years ago. I don't know which one it was, but it just ruined it for me because she'd be playing it all the time, playing it in bed, and she'd be walking around. Anytime I asked her a question or she figured something out, she'd go, "I think I've got it," and it really annoyed me. And I just got really negative vibes about the whole series. I can't get into it anymore because it just annoys me too much.
That's a
Oh,
shame.
right. I used to work with someone who really looked forward to each new Layton game coming out. For that it was the only game his girlfriend liked, and he said, but because of this, every Layton game meant that he would have like 30 hours of sort of freedom to do whatever he wanted on TV. Like he'd
I
play,
thought it was
like-
going to be really romantic. I thought
I
you were
know,
going to say,
sorry, it was a quality time.
Yeah.
Oh no! It
Spend the
meant,
hours
it meant she
spending
was out of the
time.
picture, and he could play like sort of Halo in his living room during like prime
yeah,
time.
I was with you. I was like, "Here, this is the opportunity for me to put my arms around my girlfriend and teach her how to play."
Yeah.
I do play.
Like Ghost,
like
like a bit in Ghost.
I play Professor Layton with my wife. It's
Really?
very good. Yeah, well, it's mainly, can't do this, can you do it for me?
Yeah, done.
Yeah, give it back, thanks.
Sad days.
Very nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
So a lot to look forward to in Professor Layton 5, which is out. I don't know.
October
At
the
some
26th.
point. It's October 26th, which is good. So what else have we been playing? Chris, you have been playing FIFA 13 on the Wii.
I had the
believe I've been
misfortune to play this as well.
Did
I had
you?
the misfortune of sitting next to someone swearing constantly as it
How
was
dare
on.
you? I'm a man of immaculate behaviour.
And before we go into this, we are not ones to just slag off games just because it's made by a corporation.
No.
But this is just nonsense, isn't it? Really?
This is it's essentially a case of, oh well, the Wii's near the end of its life, so that gives us an excuse to release literally the same game. FIFA, because I started playing FIFA 13, thought this is familiar, because I'm the, like, kind of the football. I was the football guy at O&M, so I
You
used
still
to
are,
review-
Chris. You
Thanks,
still are.
thanks, Matt. Deep down in my heart. But yeah, so I've
We're
played.
not paying for that, though, are we? It's not the official football person or anything.
No, that doesn't come with
I
a
think
pay
I should-
rise.
Haven't got a budget for that.
I've checked in the past. It doesn't.
Okay, just want to make that clear.
But yeah, I've started 13, thought this looks familiar, like overly familiar. Reloaded up 12, and the games are identical, right down to the menus, down to the commentary's identical, the career mode's identical, everything's the same game. The only difference is the new soundtrack and the squads, the rosters have been updated, and that's it. So charging an extra 30 quid for that is just scandalous.
It always
It
used
is.
to be the way with FIFA games. You'd think, they haven't done anything to it other than update
Yeah.
the squad roster. But at least they did
Well,
make
they've-
an effort
they've
and
freshened
change.
it
At
up a
least
bit.
they'd change the menu screen to
License
make it
some
look
new
like
music.
it wasn't the same game.
I mean-
License, yeah.
I mean, we're not idiots. We know that PES, like the Pro Evo games, have essentially been more or less the same on Wii for the last couple of years, but at least, like you say, they've freshened up the front end a bit, added a couple of teams every now and then, the odd Champions League tweak and stuff like that. But this is just, and apparently from what I can gather, the Vita version is the same. The Vita version is apparently identical to the launch FIFA that came out on that as well, which in a way is even more scandalous because that's supposed to be a system that's still selling well.
Supposed to be a system.
be.
I know. I like what you wrote in your review, though, where you said something along the lines of, it's the reviewing cliche to say, oh, nothing's changed,
Yeah.
It's just a very lazy thing everyone wheels out for these.
Yeah.
But it is, like, truly incredible to finally see someone go... I almost wonder if they sort of got so sick of hearing that, oh, nothing's ever changed.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, I'll show you nothing ever changes. This is it. This is what that actually looks like.
It's
It looks
unbelievable.
so bad as well.
Yeah, but it's looked so bad for 3 years now.
Robin
and-
Van Persie's hands, I've never seen anything like it. Look at the screenshot on official Nintendo magazine.co.uk, you'll see. It's awful.
It's pretty bad.
They obviously
So,
feel
yeah.
it's worthwhile doing that because, a lot of people obviously just go out and buy it anyway.
I think it was
They
number
don't-
one in the
Well,
Wii charts the
Well,
week
well,
after it came out.
That's the
God.
frustrating thing, is that we've got these confidential numbers that we can't reveal, sales figures, so we can track and see what games are worth putting extra emphasis on and stuff. So we know for a fact that last year's Wii game did okay. It wasn't like selling millions and millions of copies, but for a game on a system that's near the end of its life, it was selling decent numbers. And by all accounts, this one started okay on the Wii as well. It's still near the top of the Wii charts. So people are buying this and
It's
realising...
the man. It's the man. If the developers are listening, this is not us having a go at the developers because
No.
they're just told what to do, but, it's the man.
Oh, the man. What won't he do?
Shall we read out this comment from Yin Yan Reshiram, who says, I want to marry the person who wrote this review. Chris?
engaged
You are
in the thing.
taken, yeah.
I'm spoken for.
Yeah. I was well annoyed when I found out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I did give you first steps, but you
Damn
wouldn't, you wouldn't get married, so I was like, I ain't waiting.
You were like, if you don't take me to Venice, I'm not doing it.
I was like, I ain't waiting. Bye-bye.
3DS version's not bad.
Is that it? How pithy.
Yeah, 3DS version's alright. I mean, it's not massively changed, but it's changed enough to warrant a repurchase.
It seems to be the online stuff that's the problem with that one. Because, am I right in thinking Pro Evo on the 3DS has online and FIFA still doesn't?
I don't want to say yes for sure in case it doesn't, but yeah,
think it does.
there are some. Yeah.
And that's pretty poor, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, and we're at the point now where, I mean, I'm not too bothered about online and handheld games, but that's just me personally. Some people are. And we're at the stage now where it's really not acceptable to have
A football
to not
game
have
should
online
be,
on a
should be
football game.
online, though, really.
Yeah.
Because, sort of game you play with other people.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot
Quite
harder
dull to sit there on your own and play.
to play local multiplayer with a handheld.
Yeah,
It's just not
exactly.
something you do,
Yeah.
so online is a reasonable
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, exactly.
This Yin Yan Reshiram chap, or chap S, I don't know, does
Good
say
news,
just
man.
ends with the comment, finally a reviewer brave enough to make fun of EA, which I think is maybe a little harsh. I think sometimes EA get a bit of get a bit of flack when actually I think they released a fair share of brilliant
Yeah.
games and
We're not
stinkers.
That's the
standing
thing.
up- We're not
At the end
standing
of
up
the
to
day,
anyone.
EA
Rubbish game.
have released some really good games. Like, do you remember Create, which I quite like, and Boom Blocks and
Boom
stuff
Blocks,
like that.
oh, yeah.
But they've also made their fair share of rubbish, like Celebrity Sports Showdown.
Yeah,
and
I don't think
Avril
that's,
Lavigne and all that.
and
And
Fair
Wii's had
comment,
some
'cause-
brutal ports.
Yeah,
as
Nintendo
well, like-
consoles in general have had some pretty bad versions of games, and
Yeah.
we've always been there not slagging it off, but telling people what's
I think
what.
what he doesn't mean this, but what I think it is worth pointing out is that a lot of multi-format sites and mags maybe don't look at the Wii versions anymore,
Yeah,
because
that's what it is.
obviously the 360 and PS3 versions is the big version of FIFA. So when the Wii version turns up, they'll go and just leave it, and
But
that's
they
why
still
that's why I
sell
think
it
a
as
lot
a
of people
multi-format.
which is why I think a lot of people didn't maybe notice the problem with the Wii version. So
Well, they've got pictures from the better versions on the Wii box, don't they? Is that right? Or am I?
No,
Someone
not
is
on
that
the Wii
made?
box. That's
no, but
something
they are
that's
still
taken out.
they are still slightly over res.
But that's the same
screenshots,
with
but-
Right.
everything, isn't it?
But
Pretty
you can
much.
tell-
You can say that about loads of games.
Yeah.
Activision Web of Shadows had 360 screenshots on the Wii box.
Ah.
Fact. That is a fact.
Activision.
Well, they
are
weren't
the
even
true
360
villains.
shots, were they? I think they
Oh,
were
they were.
just shots.
Crazy, and you can take that to the bank. The angry bank.
the bank of fake screenshots.
Yes.
The
The 3DS box has an amazing picture of Messi on the back. It's just Messi.
it's a horrible
That's the
blurry
screenshot.
screenshot.
Messi, nothing else.
the funny thing about the Wii game that I think says it all when you look at the back of the box, it says 11v11 football is a feature. And it's like, that's not a feature of a football game. That's what it does.
Is that how many people are on a football team?
Yep,
Right.
well done. Sports god Matthew Castle.
No, I don't really do these things, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
I played video games instead of learning about sports.
Moving
Played
on.
sports video games.
Moving on, so...
Joe and lobsters.
Yes, Just Dance 4. on the Wii is good. And I have made my point in my review, and I'm going to argue it more.
You're sounding very defensive, Joe.
I am, because everyone has a go at me.
I don't know. I completely agree with you. I think millions of people have a lot of fun, and that's what gaming is about. So,
I think it's a question of expectation. If you're given a game like FIFA where you expect a certain amount of iteration every year, but when they announce things like, oh, we've got a new physics engine or whatever, that's the kind of thing that you improve on in a game like that. In a game like Just Dance, no one wants more than more songs. And frankly, if you can buy that package every year and you don't have a problem with it, then it's not something you should judge a game on, as far as I'm concerned. If people are going into it with no expectation other than, this will have 40 new songs for me, then that's fine. And that, to me, is a 70% game. That's good.
Well, it does what it says in the tin. You just dance. That's what the game is all about. If you expect any more than that, then you're an idiot.
I mean, people criticise it, don't they, for not accurately replicating what you're doing, on what's happening on the screen with the remote. But
it's not
that's
supposed
not
to be
how
a
you
dance
get
simulation.
No, that's not how you get the fun out of it, really. If you just stand there and go, point it to the right a bit, it will probably do what you want it to do, but you won't be having much fun doing it.
If it was expecting you to dance like the people in the adverts, then you would just get a score every time going, you suck at this game. And it would be like the world's best nihilism simulator. You just sit there going,
I think if it was a situation where you could only unlock certain songs or certain parts of the game by getting 5-star ratings and the songs and all that kind of thing, then I could see where it would be a problem, because it doesn't track your movements properly because it's a Wii remote. It's not a full body thing. So in that respect, it would be a problem, but it isn't. I mean, you unlock stuff by simply just dancing, and the more you dance, the more you build up a bar which levels up and unlocks stuff. So it's fine.
Also,
I agree.
A little tiny part of me, I've always been one of these irritating people that sort of Just Dance detractors on I was on Endgamer back in the day, and I kind of still am now. I just wonder why people can't just dance to like MTV, like watch a music video and just dance in front of their TV.
That's one of the most ridiculous things you've ever said.
Why not? This is the same
because
thing.
no MTV music video is just one person dancing on the video. But you can't dance to
and they
a
don't
video
dance
where
straight
people
on and show you how to do it and reward you for doing the
And
right
they don't
thing.
tell you- don't tell you what-
Just dance along to your music.
No,
That's
because-
what it is.
no, because
That's
you want
what
to-
you do.
I don't know. I don't dance. I've
Yeah.
never danced.
Yeah, right. You get down and down.
No, I honestly, I haven't.
I
Eternal's
was saying
greatest
that
hits.
about so many things. Like, just go out and play football. Just
Yeah.
No,
get
it's
a
a
real
tiny.
You see the
guitar.
difference?
It's
No,
just
it's not. It's not. It's not
dancing
because
to
the
some
difference is
music.
no, because there's dancing and then there's properly choreographed dancing. It's like saying why not just go
Makes
out?
you feel
Why not
good.
just go out and play football? It's like saying why not just go out and play in the World Cup final? There's different levels to it. So you could just jump about like an idiot in your living room, or you could have learned a choreographed routine.
It's interaction.
John's-
You could do half of what you do in Wii Fit.
Oh no,
by
no,
yourself,
you can do. Yeah,
but-
I'd say
but it's
exactly
the
the
fact that
same
it
for
gives
that.
you-
I'd say
but-
go and do a press up. Don't do it on a balance board.
But it gives you some feedback. There's it's a similar thing, because in
Yeah.
Just Dance there's like a calorie counter and all that kind of stuff as well. It pushes
I
towards that
mate,
side of things.
I think I'm just a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to this
No,
this
I
exciting
think,
new
no,
genre.
I think you're being modest. I've seen you grooving along.
That is absolutely-
No, I've seen you
yeah.
dance. I've
He
seen you at
flicks his
lunchtime.
fingers
He
to
goes
the
into
beat.
that. He goes into that grabbing room at lunchtime and
He was
plays.
grabbing.
He certainly was. He's dancing along to Eternal's greatest hits.
I do not.
Down with it.
I do not. Unless someone is going to release Just Dance Randy Newman edition, I am not interested.
Just
I don't
Dance
think
with the Divine Comedy.
everybody,
it's Randy
Newman.
I just want to sway. I just want to sway. I want to sway gently to 20 great Randy Newman tracks. Oh man,
Get dancing, guys.
it's like a man's here.
I feel uncomfortable again.
I'm going to make it my mission to get you dancing
That's never going
with
to
a
happen.
group of people
Never gonna
on
happen.
one bottle of Sol.
No,
Can you make a Randy Newman remix for him to dance to?
do not mess with the Newman.
Go on.
Newman's.
The Master Sword 12 says, might agree with you, Matthew. He says, the first one was bad, and so are all the rest. That was my first post.
Firstly, I think that's a waste of a first post.
It is,
to be
yeah.
saying something interesting. My response to that is that's fine. If you don't like the games, then you're not gonna like this game. And I've made a very clear point in that. And that's that opinion. I don't like Just Dance that much myself. It's just you've got to judge a game on its merits, and its merit is it knows exactly what it wants to do, and it knows who it's aimed at.
At the end of the day, as gamers who take scores seriously and take progress seriously, the game is broken. because it doesn't track your movements. That's it. But as a piece of fun where people can just dance in parties and stuff, it's perfectly fine.
Next one should be Just Dance, Sin and Punishment or something. Like proper treasure game.
I think you're right there.
Should we read this one though? Xenoblade person, because to give it a bit of balance. The original was a good game. Every game. Oh, actually, no, it's gone wrong. Every game. I didn't read the whole comment. Every game following that is nothing more than a DLC package.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a way, you're right.
You should read the field.
Because if you look at what Sony does with it, even though we're official Nintendo, so all of Sony's packages for SingStar are just DLC add-ons. But
Yeah.
But then I put my little industry hat on and say that music licensing costs an awful lot of money and they have to make their money back. And if they didn't put a physical package out, they'd probably just stop doing it. And you wouldn't get any new songs.
While I'm not a Just Dance fan, I again completely kind of respect people who do like it, and I look forward to my yearly Mario. I think having a game you can look forward to is a great thing. It's one of my favourite parts of this hobby is having something where I'm like, I can't wait for next year's later, and I'm already looking forward to it. And I don't see why it shouldn't be the same for the Just Dancer.
The Wii U version will be quite fun, even if you don't like it.
Well,
I've Puppet Masters. You can just sit there making people wobble their bums in your face over and over again, unless you're playing with your family, in which case
I think you've got the wrong idea.
It
about
only
sounds
costs
very odd.
£40. It usually costs a lot more.
Yeah, it does. 110 is a going rate for bum wobbling.
Really?
second race.
It's been a while. But I mean, the like you're saying about the music licensing thing, that's exactly why Guitar Hero and Rock Band, the bottom fell out of those, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Because they put loads and loads of licensed music in their kind of DLC, and then people lost interest in it, and suddenly they had this huge bill of license fees to pay, and just collapsed. That's why there's no more Rock Band or Guitar Hero games.
Yep.
Shame.
And that was sad.
We spent,
That was me attempting to put an end on the Just Dance conversation.
yeah,
That
we
was
talked
a
about
long
that for a
conversation
long
for Just
time
Dance.
for Just Dance. Yeah.
As well as Just Dance, you've also been playing a little bit of Dragon Quest X.
A little bit.
I guess we've been putting up some videos of this on the website, a sort of semi-Let's Play series, so you should probably watch those to get a full grasp of it. But have you been having...
I love the idea that you could watch those videos and get any kind of grasp on what is going on in that.
But have you been having fun with Dragon Quest X?
Sort of. It's a weird thing because...
Did you have more fun with Dragon Quest or Just Dance? Be honest.
Your hardcore credentials are on the line here.
Controversial.
See, that's the thing. I can't tell because I didn't have that much fun with either of them. Just
Oh, Joe. Carry on talking about Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest's a difficult thing. Firstly, it's in Japanese, so we've been playing it and just going "Ah," most of the time. Secondly,
Is that Japanese or something?
no. That was Korean. And what we've got with Dragon Quest is the first 2 hours of what becomes an MMO. And that's a problematic thing. You're playing a game that's designed to be played with lots of other people in a huge space by yourself. So it feels very slow, and the combat's not too interesting when you haven't got, 5 or 6 people playing with you. So it's sort of... It gets you into the mechanics of the game, but not in a particularly interesting way.
Was it worth the 70-minute install? That's the question.
I got at least half an hour more than that of playtime, so that's a good thing.
Is it like the notorious 1 hour, 2 hour boring tutorials that start of a Zelda game, only in Japanese?
No, it's not.
Or even worse than that?
It's a problem because it's introducing mechanics for something you're not doing at the time, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think there's a single player quest afterwards that we've not been told about yet. It just sort of went into this bit with a second character, and I was like, well, I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. But then, so there might be something more there in terms of the single player, but it is really about the MMO, and that looks like it could be brilliant fun, but we're not in Japan, so we can't play it.
Yeah, and I think that the stuff in the magazine is just to give people a taste of what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out on Wii U and it's quite topical. And, when we get a chance to play the proper online version, then you'll get a better feel of it, I think.
It's worth making clear that people shouldn't be disheartened by what we're
not
saying.
at all. No.
It's purely because it's in Japanese, isn't it?
It's the Japanese, and it's introducing you to something that you don't fully understand anyway, and in a way that doesn't push what you're going to be doing in the rest of the game. It's just very basic
You
mechanics.
should check out the videos though, because they're pretty funny.
Pretty hilarious stuff.
There's a few lols in there.
Make them viral, kids. I think that's what they say in it. That's what the web geeks say.
That's what they said.
Make it viral, dudes.
Before the plague.
Yep.
Nintendo TV time with Gav Murphy.
Hello.
Gav Murphy on the TV. Nintendo TV.
That's the jingle I get.
Nintendo TV then. So, welcome to the Nintendo TV section. Gavin's not here today because he's still in New York doing stuff. I know that seems weird because you're listening to this on the 24th of October, but we recorded it before. And yeah, Gavin's doing Alien Colonial Marines stuff, and he'll be back soon, so he's not here. But he just wanted us to tell you that on the 20th...
He loves you very much.
Yeah, he loves you very much. He misses your hugs.
But that he's got
virtual
a new
hugs.
family now.
Yeah. He's talking to Bishop, isn't he?
Lance
Yeah.
Henriksen.
Lance
Lance.
Henriksen.
Star of Pumpkinhead. It's a good film.
But yeah, he's Nintendo TV goes out on the 25th of October. Mm-hmm. Day after this. That's tomorrow, folks. And that'll have some Alien stuff in the Aliens interviews and things like that. So that'll be really cool.
And an opportunity to win a 3DS XL and a copy of Professor Layton, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah. So get on it.
Very nice.
I don't understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
This is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. There we go. Frankly, I'm ashamed.
So we're at reader questions, and what delightful gems have they got for us this week? Joe, can you kick off with something from Mr. John Walton?
Is he one of the Waltons?
John Boy.
Oh, is he John Boy?
Yeah, it's John Boy Walton.
Yep, that's
Isn't
who he
there a
is.
darts player called John Walton as well?
Is there?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah, that's your forte.
Well, let's see if we can work out which Walton it is from his question.
You're double 20.
I hope it's the darts player.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that TV royalty cares about this question, but do you think Nintendo will re-release Wii games in HD for the Wii U? Xenoblade in HD? Yes, please.
Well, let's just put that to bed. No, is probably the answer.
Oh, I think they might.
Monster Hunter.
I don't see why they would. Why would they?
Well, why would they release GameCube games on the Wii, like they did with Mario Tennis?
Yeah, but they're not in. What I mean is, there won't be an HD. So the Wii U's got what we're calling it, the Wii. It's not an emulator, but it's basically
It's
the
a
Wii
Wii
chipset.
It's like a Wii mode. I think
Yeah.
they've referred to it as the Wii mode.
Yeah,
currently.
and if you read out on Official Nintendo Magazine, we did the whole Iwata broke down the Wii U, didn't he? Opened it up and showed everyone. They showed that the Wii U chipset's been incorporated into the Wii chipset's been incorporated into the Wii U chipset in a special way. So I think it's just straight. It runs the game, and that's it.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt that out of the box it'll run Wii games in standard def, but I don't see why in the future they can't re-release some games as HD versions, like they've done with, like they're doing with Okami on PS3, and like they've done with the Silent Hill collection and God of War collection. It'd be nice to get stuff like Galaxy in HD, like re-released as new.
You've got Monster
games.
Hunter 3 Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, but
But that's one.
It's hard to say.
well, yeah. It's an
I
example.
think some publishers might, because it seems to be a trend. You know, Sega love them. Some of those HD Xbox Live Arcade remakes. You know, your kind of your whatever Sonic Adventure and the other Sega
Jet Set
games,
Radio.
Jet Set Radio. Though I think those GameCube games that they released on Wii, the Nintendo ones, to me they smacked of. We haven't got any games this year. Let's fill a gap.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
So there might be, maybe if they mess up again and have a huge hole in their release schedule, they may have to. But I kind of hope they don't.
There is a precedence being
Not
set
that
for
they don't,
HD
but-
remakes doing well, though. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not outlandish
I
to
want
think that a
forward-looking,
publisher. Oh, absolutely, but it's not
There is.
unbelievable for a publisher to go. But this is just easy money. People, we release something people like, and we'll make money out of that.
I think if they outsourced it to another developer,
Yeah.
like
Well,
they
Ocarina
did with
of Time.
Ocarina, yeah, like so they could be working on new stuff while at the same time there's like HD versions of Mario Sunshine or Galaxy or something, or Skyward Sword being made.
Well, I just
HD,
personally, I don't
yeah.
think you look at how often Nintendo does it as a company. They did Ocarina of Time, and it's taken them a long time to do. Xenoblade, they would have to completely redraw all the textures and recompress them all, it would take an outsourcing company a lot of time and money. They wouldn't make it back.
And did that game sell particularly well?
No.
Xenoblade?
It did okay,
No,
but
it
it's a
wasn't
hardcore
bad.
audience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And anyway, those guys are full steam ahead on their sequel. Well, not a sequel, but their next RPG from the Xenoblade team, which is going to be exciting.
We do have to remember, though, that John Boy here did say, yes, please. So
Yeah,
if
I
they
guess
do
it's
hear
wrong to
this,
say
they
no,
might...
I think John Walton and the whole Waltons, all the Waltons would be up for it.
They don't even have a flat screen TV.
Well, they might
They
have.
live in like don't they live in like Dust Bowl 1930s Depression era America?
Yeah, but
thought-
they
I
were
thought
all
that
in
was-
Operation Rainfall, so, you know, you've got
Was
to...
it Depression era? They
Was
were always
it?
really happy.
Yeah, no, but that was the whole thing, wasn't it? It was saying like even though times are tough, we love each other because we're a happy family.
Because they had a
I see.
telly.
They didn't have it, did they?
Well, I don't know,
They didn't
but
have a telly, did they?
well, just because you never saw it.
Hang on,
I mean,
is the
the camera
Waltons
never-
different? The Waltons is different to Little House on the Prairie, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's because they had different
I'm
names
getting
and different
things
people in them.
confused.
Yeah, otherwise they would have just been Little House.
I thought the Waltons were the family who lived on the Little House on the Prairie.
No, it's two different things.
It's a darts player.
Do you think they
anyway.
hated each other?
What, the
The
Waltons?
two families and the Little House on the Prairie family.
I think they lived in alternative universes.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think.
Parallel dimensions.
Yeah,
they
I
weren't-
don't think they were canon.
I don't think they had wormholes back then.
Wait, who's not canon? Which family's not canon?
Neither family's in the other's canon.
Oh, okay.
There were two canons.
Could they afford cannons in the Depression?
Yeah, but and tellies.
I don't
This
know.
is
It
getting
makes it
so
cannon
confusing.
tellies. I thought
Oh,
you meant
canon tellies,
cannons.
exactly. It was canon
Cameras.
made.
I thought they were like pirates or
Oh,
something.
canon make cameras. Who
Yeah.
makes tellies then?
Well, Canon might make tellies, but
This
then-
is
but
the
they're
worst
safe.
conversation ever.
So the next question.
If Cannon
We'll
can't,
continue. Exactly.
Um,
We'll continue this later.
The next question from Jake Salmon is my favourite because it's not actually a question. It's just a thing with a question mark at the end, and those are the best ones.
imagine if he was called Hake Salmon. He would have two fish names.
Whoa! If he lived in Spain, Haggis amor. Right. That's not a Spanish
That's not how.
accent.
Is that?
No.
It's not how you say. It's not how you say "hey" or something. Spanish either.
Haggis amor. Individual opinions on the 3DS XL should have had bigger buttons too, and does it make a difference?
I don't understand. Can you
Asking if
So-
CDS XL should have bigger buttons.
Let's separate this into its different component parts. Individual opinions on the 3DS XL. Go.
No, whether it should have had
Nope.
individual opinions of whether it should have had bigger buttons.
Yeah, I know.
I love my 3DS XL.
Yep.
Well, I would love it if I had a game to play on it.
Oh, there's violins.
But while I was playing Resident Evil, it was amazing. I can't find fault with it, actually.
The D-pad's slightly bigger.
I don't use a D-pad, though.
No, but I mean, he's saying they should have had bigger buttons. I think the D-pad was the only problem.
No, I'm not bothered.
Considering I was called out when we showed a picture of me holding one as having gigantic hands, I had no problem with those buttons. There's no problem with them at all.
I've got very
Disgustingly
small
massive
hands.
They're unbelievable. They're like huge ovens.
I don't believe you.
Ovens.
At the end of the day, but we don't know how big people's hands are in Spain. So like Jake, Jake might
Hake.
be like,
I don't think
Hake-
everyone. I don't
Hake
think everyone has
Samo.
the same size hand.
After
Well,
years
Spain,
digging
yeah.
up chorizo plants.
Chorizo plant.
Yeah.
Is that a plant?
No.
No. I was going to say sausage.
Has someone just asked that question seriously?
I didn't know if it might be some kind of herb that you've mixed with meat to make a chorizo
That's
sausage.
right. That's
the proper answer is it should or should not have had bigger buttons depending on personal opinion, and it wouldn't have made a difference because the buttons would have had the same functionality.
No, and because chorizo doesn't grow on plants.
No, and because Spanish people have hands much the same size as those of other people around the
The
world.
readers could see how confused Tom looks right now.
He looks disgusted.
It's just a general apathy, actually, isn't it?
Well, that's a great question.
All right,
Hake.
Tom. Tom, move it on. Tom, move on to Tommy
This
Stonehouse.
guy's got an amazing.
Tommy Stonehouse.
I love Tommy Stonehouse.
That's how I'd imagine.
That's a good Scottish
His,
accent.
what would it be? Hoose.
Tommy
Would
Steinhouse.
that-
Stenhouse.
It wouldn't be
What would
Tommy,
that be?
it'd be Tam.
What would it be in
Tom
Spanish?
Steinhouse.
Thomas.
Thomas.
Something stone.
Stonehouse?
I don't know what stone is in Spanish.
Thomas
Casa.
Bricasa.
Stone Casa.
When on single player mode of New Super Mario Bros. U, can you still place blocks on the screen?
No. I don't know. I don't think so.
Matthew?
Not from what I've played. The block assist is a purely co-op thing. The version I played anyway was single player on the gamepad, and you couldn't tap the screen and do things. but at the same time, it was under quite strict demo conditions. So there might be more. We will know more when we review it very soon.
I suppose there's nothing to stop you cradling a gamepad on your lap
With your elbow.
and playing with a remote and then just tapping the screen whenever you want.
Could you? When you're playing single player, what does it show on the gamepad then?
The same.
It shows the same thing,
Yeah.
but you can't interact with it.
But you can
So
zoom,
you-
it zooms out, doesn't it, on one screen?
I think so, yeah.
So is it a separate character that you have to sort of enter the game as?
No,
To do
you're,
it.
whoever
Or is it
you-
a
like
mode?
God, the finger of God, planting blocks. You are basically Miyamoto creating level design on the fly.
God being Yamashi-san.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's good. That block mode, instantly, just one little thing. I've seen loads of people online going, I don't want a mode that makes it easier, I don't want a mode that makes it easier. But this is a typical example of Nintendo doing something which appeals to both newcomers and experts alike. It's a bit like the Super Guide. Remember when they invented the Super Guide, everyone was like, the level completes itself. And you're like, well, actually, it lets them make the levels make much harder so that you can complete them. But the blocks too, like we were playing and I was pretty rubbish at it with the blocks, like the placement and stuff. But then when I saw people who'd been playing the demo unit for a couple of days doing it, and they were planting, and basically the person was jumping from block to block to block, and then the more blocks you jump on gives the person placing the blocks more powers, so they can start grabbing coins and stuff. It was just...
Yeah, it's the hardest of core.
It was like the most like insane thing. Like it looked absolutely amazing.
Well,
and-
they were showing off some of that with the modes they hadn't announced previously in the last set of trailers we saw, didn't they? Where
Yeah.
there was someone placing blocks and it was a really super fast-paced
Yeah, there's
thing.
wall jumping off the
Like,
list.
if you, I know,
exactly.
that's the thing. Like, you could see people were building like their own crazy levels within the level to get through it. Like, it's properly incredible. And anyone who says it's a babying kind of babyish thing is just insane.
It's just another option, basically. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah,
No one's going to shoot you in the
I probably
kneecap.
won't do it though because you'd have to be so good at it. You'll probably be good at it.
Mm. I won't be good at it.
Well, when we all put up videos of us all playing together, we can have a little test.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So there you
That's
go.
just a way of saying
Has that answered your
we should do
question?
that.
Tommy
Stonehouse.
Stonehouse.
I wonder who's got the best name out of those three. I think it's Hacky.
Yeah.
They were all pretty good this
His name's just Jake Salmon, to be fair. So.
But John Walton could have been either a darts player or a 30s depression.
He's
guy.
going to feel really bad now that you said that. His name's just Jake Salmon. I mean, what the hell? He's going to listen and be like,
but
oh.
Pretty
it's a
awesome
good,
name.
it's a fine name.
Tommy Stonehouse is a good name.
But
though.
Tommy Stonehouse.
Tommy Stonehouse is an
proper.
amazing name. That sounds like something out
I
of
think
a
we
dandy.
should start a chart, like a top 10 readers' names ever from the podcast.
If he doesn't live in a house made of stone, I'll be livid.
If Jake Salmon doesn't live in a
In a fish.
giant salmon.
Inside Jabu
If he
Jabu's
doesn't
belly.
swim upstream once a year and die after giving birth, I'll be quite angry.
Are you wishing death on a reader show?
No,
That's-
because he
that's a-
resurrects as new salmons.
He resurrects as Jake Mark II.
Correct.
Moving on.
Competitions.
Do it.
Last month's prize was FIFA 13 on the Wii. That's right, folks. FIFA 13 on the Wii.
You lucky devils.
Yeah, but you
But-
get to see how bad it is.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is quite
Yeah, it's
always
not
quite-
like you're being
pretty much
charged.
it's always quite
Basically, you
enjoyable.
get like 15, 20 quid for it at CEX.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's quite new. You'd probably
Yeah.
get some money back for that.
Probably don't recommend that, though, do we?
No.
We asked you to tell us which sportsman or woman, sports person, should have their own non-sporting game and what it would be. Who wants to talk through the runners-up?
Why was this set?
What?
What's the prize?
Why are you questioning
Prize
this?
was FIFA.
No.
The question was because
because of
what's her face, Danica
Danica Patrick was in
Danica Patrick.
Sonic Racing.
yes, and but also that Anyway,
So
carry
yeah,
on.
so what sports person should be? Yeah.
I think we brought up the subject of Shaq Fu.
Didn't we?
Yeah,
that's
Michael
what I mean,
Jordan.
yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Michael
Chaos
Jordan,
Windy City.
Chaos, and yeah.
Good game.
So our first runner-up is Lewis Tremaine, who writes even, or he might say
We
it,
could have been using speech
Yes.
diction software.
but he writes.
You might not have hands, Matthew. That's very rude.
That's quite presumptuous.
he'll love FIFA.
Lewis
then.
Tremaine has submitted this answer by some means, and the answer is: what about a game where you play as a? Oh, hang
As well
on.
as-
Should I
What
read
about a
it?
game where you play a fit? It should
As
be
Phil.
as, right? It should be as, right? This is a great answer, Lewis.
She may not have hit.
We love your answer.
Lewis,
What about
Lewis
a game?
may not have
I have
arms,
the
but
answer.
but you don't have eyes.
What about a game where you play as Phil the Power Taylor, whoever that is? Because let's face it, I'm joking, but let's do it again.
understand pop culture.
Let's do it again. Alright, I'll do it again. This time, deadly straight.
The Spice Girls.
Right, all the way back to the runners up. And our first runner
How
up.
about Shakin' Stevens?
Okay.
Greatest hits.
Who's frightening Spice?
Proceed.
Do you want me?
Lewis Tremaine says, what about a game where you play as Phil the Power Taylor? Because let's face it, darts isn't really a sport.
He's not Welsh.
That was like Yorkshire, then suddenly
threatening.
Cockney at the end.
That was a darts burn.
That's my generic
that was.
English accent.
What about a game
What about a game?
where you play as Phil the Power Taylor? Because that's
I don't know why that's a runner-up.
Percy.
Not that much effort's gone into that.
Percy Suddenoo.
We only have 3 entries.
Who's the second runner-up?
Matthew Coleman
What does he
Matthew
say?
Coleman.
says Wanye Rooney, who I think's maybe Wayne Rooney.
1 year.
Kanye West. We need to be careful with this one because he says potentially libelous things. But the basic gist is that he should get his own non-sporting game in the style of Saints Row 2's Pimp Levels. I think we'll maybe leave it at that, and you can fill in the blanks yourself, so to speak.
There might be some hilarious past history to Wayne Rooney, or Wanye as he's known now. But you
Well,
can
it's
connect.
not if his name's Wanye Rooney.
Then
is
it's
it-
not
is it-
Wayne Rooney,
it's
so we
not-
can talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
so
yeah.
we can talk about grannies then.
I think Matthew's suggesting that what goes on in Saints Row 2 Pimp Levels is a sport.
Stays in Saints Row
Or
2.
a sport.
Pimp Levels.
Yeah, okay, so that's not going to win because
Because we're kind of baffled by it, and we don't want to get sued.
So this is silly because the winner's the same person that keeps winning all the time.
Well,
Why-
he did. He won for his amazing songs, which we have referenced a few
Which were
times.
great, yeah.
Which were very good.
Tasty herbs.
Look, this is the thing, listeners. Jordan Bird is sort of the king of these competitions.
Sort of-
Mainly
sort of
because
a
he
big deal.
bothers.
And
sort-
you've all
it's sort
got
of
to
a big
try
deal.
harder. He really wants FIFA 13 on the Wii, and if you wanted it as much as him, you should try. But you
Yes.
haven't got it, so it doesn't matter anyway. But next month,
No.
Are you trying to
Wonder-
incite regicide?
yes,
Regicide.
What was Jordan Bird's entry? by the way?
Reggie never did it, no.
Right.
this
Go.
is why Jordan Bird wins competitions. Tiger Woods should star in a Grand Theft Auto type game. I will not expand on this for legal reasons. See,
He knew,
does
he
our
knew.
work for us.
He knew.
He follows this with, or a 2D fighter with major stars from each sport with movesets tied to their careers. A golfer would use his club, close ranger. Yeah. Rugby players would move slower and could tackle the opponent.
Some rugby
Rhythmic
players are
gymnastics could be light and nimble using a ball and ribbons. I really like the idea of just whipping someone with those ribbons that just flutter around in the air.
Yeah, nasty paper cut.
And let's be fair. My personal opinion, I really appreciate Jordan Bird putting the effort in. It's still not a great answer, but that's that kind of.
It's
But
just Smash Brothers, isn't it?
that just gives you an insight into
not Michael
the
Jordan in the
quality
winning
of the
season.
answers we've had.
Come on, people.
Raise your game.
Raise your game.
But thanks.
We're literally throwing bad games at you here. All you need to do is reach out and grab them.
But well done, Jordan. Thank you for bothering. It's really kind of you, and you get stuff for it. So there you go.
What would be your suggestion?
My suggestion, I don't know, put more than 20 seconds thought into it. You're winning a 30 quid game. If you don't want it, you can sell it. I mean, honestly. You're listening to this thing for an hour, so you might as well put a few more seconds of thought into it.
I think you should put. I think you should put Lionel Messi in Skyrim.
Can we?
Don't know why.
I want like a rhythm action game where you play as John Terry trying to avoid saying stupid things. Like you get a scrolling screen of
Something like a bite your
expletives and
tongue.
racial epithets, and you've got to try and not hit any of them. There's like one in every 16 words is like "and" or something.
It's like SingStar, but it's got like poison words in it. You've got to not sing.
I call it John Terry's poisoned words.
So this month, try just put a little bit more effort in, please.
He was actually cleared of using racial.
well, that's why he needs
in
to
a-
avoid
in,
saying
in a court of law. So
but not by the court of the FA.
ONM and its parent company, Future Publishing, do not endorse views, Presented by Joe Scriballs regarding John Terry in this podcast.
This month, the prize is Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Please put a little bit more effort in. That'd be awesome.
It is a good game.
It is a good game. It's a great game. You want to win this game. To win, we would like you to suggest, make up, invent a brand new puzzle for us to fix, for us to solve. Oh,
with an answer, obviously.
Give us a logical puzzle and then the answer, so we can try and catch each other out.
Next month, I'll print them out. I won't take part, and I'll read you the puzzles, and you guys can work it out. I'll print them out on a different sheet.
Yeah, and not something like, how am I going to avoid the bailiffs this month? Something that's actually a proper puzzle.
Yeah, it'll be stuff like a man's found dead in his room and there's a puddle of water.
This reminds me of a puzzle.
Yeah. Do you remember last week's invitation to send in stitched together clips of Chris saying things from past podcasts, and you'll almost certainly win.
Definitely. I'll just throw in a few phrases just now so you can mix them together. A bucket, a couple of bits of string, and
I do. I've been holding it since I got here. I didn't think it would take this long.
What's it
been now? An hour. Fantastic. If you'd like to enter the
edit it down, it'll be a slick 20 minutes.
Yeah, once we've got rid of
take out all the eternal references.
If you've got any topics that you want us to discuss, email us at onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading podcast question. Don't forget that we have been talking about the brand new issue of the official Nintendo magazine. That's issue.
I forgot that too.
Yes, we have been talking about that, and it's on sale today actually in all good UK magazine shops. And what's on the cover?
It's a great cover, Nintendo Land.
Oh, it's full of good stuff actually. This issue.
It's an absolute stunner.
Absolutely rammed. If you're all about Wii U, then get into that. Also go onto the website for daily news and information on everything that we do, www.officialnintendomagazine.co.uk. And also Chris is from another website. Where are you from,
I'm
Chris?
from www.nintendo-gamer.net. Remember that dash, folks, it's pretty important.
Yeah, and we don't have fights about it because Chris does different stuff. He does like cool featurey stuff. We do cool feature stuff, but it's different offerings with different people. We're on Twitter, ONM_UK. We're on Facebook, Official Nintendo Magazine. And we all have our own Twitter accounts. So for me, I'm Chandra at ONM. No, I'm not Chandra at ONM. No. I'm Chandra ONM. Yeah. And Matthew's Matthew ONM. And Joe's Joe ONM. And Chris is Scully something.
1888. The year the mighty Glasgow Celtic Football Club was formed.
There you go. Tom's Tom ONM.
I'm not.
Oh, where
are
you,
Thomas?
I'm Teast.
Oh, Teast. There you go. Teast the Beast.
Teast, Thomas, Tom. Lots of names.
Thank you for listening.
Such
I
a
need to go and do it. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Bye-bye.
Who's frightening Spice?